I just had to hear all that for 5 years, really.
Yeah.
You know, so it was a bit frustrating because the people that's on the outside looking in, they didn't have an idea what was really going on. But they was just, you know, making up stuff, and the media and other people that believed them was just going with it.
Yeah.
So once we got the fight over with, it was just like a sign of relief.
And before we go into that photo,
I haven't talked about that yet.
Okay, let's talk about this. Terence Crawford's a great champion as well.
Yeah.
You're a great champion.
Yeah.
First time you've seen him in a while. What did you guys tell each other tonight?
Nah, he just said something. So I don't know. Legendary promoter. I like this.
Hey,
He best in the business. I like
been around this long.
Yeah, legendary promoter. I like that.
So he know fights.
I like that.
Errol Spence has found his spark for boxing again. He recently hit the gym with Terence Crawford, training alongside him as Crawford prepares for his massive showdown with Canelo Alvarez.
It could happen. I mean, why not? If Crawford wanna challenge himself to be great, let him try to be great, you know. So, you know what I'm saying, I'm with it. So, you know, I'll be going for Bud, you know, if he fight Canelo, I'll be going for him. I mean, I don't know if he gonna win or lose, but I'll definitely be going Crawford.
While spending time in the gym, Spence told a reporter that he's planning to return to boxing later this year. But when asked for more details, he kept it quiet and didn't reveal anything else.
Y'all gotta stop capping on me, man. The only reason I look overweight in that picture is because I had on like 3 sweaters that's cold as fuck in Japan. Like, stop it with this shit, man. I stay fit, man. You did? Yes, sir. And it's not.
At the gym, Spence jogged with Crawford and joined him for strength and conditioning drills. The two didn't spar, but they did stop to chat for a while before Spence headed out. Seeing them together now, it doesn't really feel like a rematch is coming, especially since Crawford has moved way beyond the 147-pound welterweight division to face Canelo.
Bud Crawford and Errol Spence Jr. for providing us an unbelievable night of boxing here in Las Vegas.
Still, fans were hyped to see the two together. Respect to two of the best 147-pounders in history. One fan wrote, another added, I don't need a Spence versus Crawford rematch, but I do want to see Spence fight again. Losing to Crawford doesn't mean he's finished. He's still got skills.
Yeah, I would never want to fight him coming off an accident like that. Because when I beat him,
right,
then y'all gonna say it was because of the accident.
Right.
He fight. He beat Danny Garcia. I was in the crowd. I said, nah, he can't beat me. That's the first time I seen Spence fight live. I said...
So you knew then when you seen that?
I'm like yeah, because you know it's different on TV than when you watching it up close.
A third fan said, Spence is just what the 154-pound division needs right now. We need more excitement. Hope he's ready to go. Spence hasn't fought since that tough loss to Crawford in 2023. People thought they were evenly matched, but Crawford totally dominated and handed Spence his first ever loss. Spence's record now stands at 28 wins, 1 loss, with 20 to knockouts.
In the fight?
Yeah.
But I just felt like, you know, he came prepared and he was ready and he fought a good fight.
Yeah.
He was awkward, he was patient, he was determined, he stuck to his game plan, and he did what he had to do to make it to.
Recently, Spence shared a personal post on social media, saying the worst thing he ever did as an athlete was drinking. His post got a reaction from Gervonta Davis, who's fighting Lamont Roach tonight. Spence said, if you're an athlete, stay focused on your goals. Drinking held me back. Hopefully others can learn from that. Despite his loss to Crawford, Spence has had an amazing career. But after his last fight, some critics started doubting him. Spence fired back online, writing, some of y'all throw around wash way too loosely. Post your mama so we can see what wash really looks like.
Oh, well, he's money hungry. He's looking at money and he's trying to cash out and this and that. I've been getting money for years. I've been getting money for years.
Yeah.
And I'm not stupid with my money.
Right.
As you can see, I don't buy no Ferraris, Lamborghinis, and, you know what I mean, walk around with 100 people around me and got all this jewelry that I done bought. Like,
before losing to Terence Crawford, Errol Spence was the unified welterweight champion. He held the WBA, WBC, and IBF titles and dominated the division from 2017 to 2023. Even though he hasn't fought in nearly 2 years, Spence is only 34, and fans are hoping he'll face a big-name opponent in his comeback. Meanwhile, Crawford stirred up some controversy with recent comments about Spence. The two fought back in 2023, where Crawford delivered a one-sided beating. Spence had the option to trigger a rematch clause, but he decided not to take it.
Boxing will do more, but things happen. You gotta learn from it. Definitely, it was exciting. The whole build up to it and leading up to it too. So it's something that I wouldn't change for nothing. And I'm definitely open to the rematch, and hopefully it'll be at 154 pounds.
Spence was also in talks to fight WBC and WBO champ Sebastian Fundora, but that fight never happened due to repeated delays. This made many believe Spence might be done with boxing. On the other hand, Crawford kept rising. He's now set to face Canelo Alvarez this September. Crawford has never fought above 154 pounds, but he'll have to meet Canelo at 168, a huge step up. Still, but is confident. In an interview with Fight Hub TV, Spence said there's a chance Crawford could pull off the upset. Why not? Spence said, if he wants to be great, let him try. And if the fight happens, Spence says he'll be rooting for Crawford.
I definitely take that fight. I feel like, 165, 168, that's more my natural weight, and it's a lot easier for me to make. So we're not thinking about Canelo right now, but if the fight come across the table.
If he fights Canelo, I'm pulling for him, Spence said. I don't know if he'll win, but I'm backing him. Spence knows firsthand how dangerous Crawford can be when he's in the zone. That's why he believes if anyone can beat Canelo, it's Bud. He even brought up Canelo's own rise, starting his career as a welterweight, going all the way up to 175 to fight guys like Kovalev and Bivol. If Canelo did it, why can't Crawford? Spence asked. It surprised a lot of people to see Spence backing his old rival, showing there's still mutual respect between them.
I think if anybody can pull it off, he can pull it off.
Yeah.
He's facing greatness, so why not? Canelo came up to 175 and all that, and fought Kovalev and fought the other guy too. So if he can do it, and he started at 147. So if he doing it, why can't?
Lately, there's been a lot of debate in the boxing world. Does Errol Spence Jr. deserve a spot in the Boxing Hall of Fame? The topic blew up after Terence Crawford brought it up on the Pound for Pound podcast with Kamaru Usman and Henry Cejudo. Crawford said if he retired today, he's done enough to be in the Hall of Fame. But he wasn't sure Spence had. Crawford explained, I've already accomplished what he's still chasing. Then he began pointing out why he felt Spence might not make the cut.
A lot of poise, broke him down, and was able to stop him at the end.
Everybody's wondering what's going on with you and Terence Crawford. This fight gonna happen?
I think it's gonna happen. We both want to fight. I want to fight. He wants to fight, and it's going down to negotiations. So I think I definitely gonna get the fight this year, and we're gonna square off this year with the biggest fight in boxing.
It is the biggest fight in boxing. Where and when, if you were guessing?
I don't know where. I don't know when, but it's definitely gonna be this year.
All right, we look forward to.
He only fought in one division. He never became undisputed, and people called him a weight bully. Crawford said he beat Kell Brook after a loss and an eye injury. Since that interview, fans and analysts have fired back. One of them was former WBO super featherweight champ Jamel Herring. Herring said he respects Crawford, but disagrees. Spence was a unified champ in one of the most legendary divisions in boxing. He said, and that alone, he believes, is worthy of Hall of Fame consideration.
For his title, I'm fighting for a title, and there's the possibility he win his fight, God willing. I win my fight, God willing, and there's a possibility.
Jamel Herring pointed out that Errol Spence beat every world champion in the welterweight division to unify the belts, and none of those belts were vacant, directly contradicting Crawford's claims. Herring said Kell Brook, Sean Porter, and Yordenis Ugas were all reigning champs when Spence beat them. He also praised Spence's wins over Mikey Garcia and Danny Garcia, especially the one against Danny, which came after Spence's near-fatal car crash. Herring noted how Spence filled arenas, sold pay-per-views, and carried the welterweight division on his back. He ended by saying, losing one fight to one of the best doesn't erase everything Spence achieved. He's absolutely Hall of Fame worthy. Meanwhile, one of Spence's old opponents, Yordanis Ugas, also spoke up. Spence beat Ugas in April 2022 with a 10th round TKO that left Ugas with an eye injury. Still, Ugas has no hard feelings. He tweeted, "If Spence retired today, I believe he's a Hall of Famer." Ugas admired how Spence came back from his car crash and eye surgery to win titles again. "He badly injured my eye, but that's boxing," he said. Ugas called it an honor to share the ring with Spence and hopes to see him return, adding, "Fighters are opponents, not enemies." Since Crawford won the WBO welterweight title back in 2018 with a TKO over Jeff Horn, fans had begged for a showdown with Spence. But for years, rival promoters stood in the way. The Hall of Fame talk really took off after Crawford's big win over Spence on July 29, 2023, at the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas. In front of nearly 20,000 fans, Crawford won by 9th round TKO and became the first undisputed welterweight champ since 2006 and the first male fighter in the four-belt era to become undisputed into different weight classes. It was also his 11th straight finish, with 9 of them coming in the 6th round or later.
Not being there too, did you feel off physically or anything, or what was wrong in the fight?
Yeah, felt a little off physically, but most times I get through it. So, I thought it was gonna be just like the other times, but I couldn't kick it up a notch.
But this was his most impressive by far. Crawford put on a complete boxing clinic, dominating from the moment he dropped Spence in round 2. That was a shock. Spence had never been knocked down in his entire career. By the end of the fight, Spence had been dropped 3 times, a loss that reminded many of what happened to Devin the Dream Haney when he was knocked down 3 times in his first ever defeat. Crawford finished the night landing an incredible 60% of his power punches and 42% of his jabs. He also landed 87 jabs in total, the most any fighter has ever landed on Spence.
I'm about to take my belt off there.
You gotta do what you gotta do.
I'm gonna do it. Errol,
You don't need more than the belt. I don't know what you talking about. I ain't one of your kids.
I'm
You
gonna
don't need more than the belt. I ain't one of your kids.
treat you like one.
Yeah, all right, we gonna see.
All right, we definitely gonna see.
And there they are, ladies and gentlemen. It's the main event of the evening. Brought to you by Premier Boxing Champions. 12 rounds of boxing for the undisputed welterweight championship of the world.
The fight started with Spence coming forward, setting the pace and applying pressure. Crawford, on the other hand, stayed calm and patient, picking his spots to counter. Especially late in the first round, there weren't any major moments early, but when Spence overreached once, Crawford made him pay with a sharp left hand. It was the kind of chess match fans expected. Crawford is known for starting slow, while Spence usually takes control early, and he did just that in round 2, using his jab and pressure to trouble Crawford.
I got feel for his power. Probably like first, second round. He's a strong dude, but everybody at this top level have some type of power. But I think because my timing was out, he was catching me in between shots.
I get to say I told y'all because I've been asking for these fights for years, and y'all been saying, "Oh, he's too small. He's gonna get this. He's gonna get broken." And each and every time.
But everything changed in the final seconds of round 2. Crawford landed a straight left more like a power jab, and Spence hit the canvas for the first time in his career. From there, Crawford's power started showing more and more. In round 4, he landed a heavy overhand left and several brutal jabs that hurt Spence. Crawford's hot streak continued into the 5th, as his timing, speed, and counterpunching kept backing Spence up. Eventually, it was no longer if the fight would end but when. Crawford dropped Spence 2 more times and finally stopped him with a TKO in round 9.
What is he, Australian?
Who?
What's his name?
Ja Opataya?
Opataya.
Yeah, I don't know. Is he Australian or he's from like...
What's the same weight class though, right?
No, it's cruiserweight. Opataya is cruiserweight.
Yeah, he is cruiserweight. Yeah. So, I think that this fight's on time for both of them guys. Everybody wants to see Benavidez in the ring with Canelo, as do I. But I don't think Benavidez.
I only dreamed of being a world champion. I'm an overachiever, Crawford said after the fight. Nobody believed in me when I was coming up, but I made everyone a believer tonight. He also gave credit to his opponent, adding, "I want to thank Spence and his team like I told him without him. None of this would have been possible for me tonight."
Went ahead and put it all on the line. Run the loss to Terence Crawford and Errol Spence for providing us an unbelievable amount of boxing here in Las Vegas. All right, ladies and gentlemen, now I want to bring up. He is the first real boxer.
Crawford continued, "This means everything because of who I took the belts from. They tried to blackball me. They said I wasn't good enough. They said I couldn't beat these top welterweights, but I kept my head high, kept praying to God, and waited for the chance to show the world how great Terence Crawford is. And tonight I think I did that."
Floyd Mayweather, you know, Oscar De La Hoya in his prime, you know, you can't. And so who else is there right now in that stratosphere other than Canelo? There is no one else. Tell me.
No, you got people that's approaching it.
Who's even approaching it? And 54 or
oh no, not at 54. I'm just saying people in boxing. You got Inoue.
Benavidez is approaching it. I think Inoue.
And show it he did. Crawford's jab was so powerful. Mike Tyson even called it a battering ram that kept connecting and pushing Spence backward. "He's a tremendous talent," Tyson said. "He's got a great jab." Crawford's road to this moment started in 2018 when he stopped Jeff Horn in his first welterweight bout and won the WBO title. Since then, fans had been calling for a fight with Spence, but rival promoters kept it from happening. Now, as Crawford prepares to move up in weight for his next challenge, some wonder if it might be too much. One person who doesn't think so: Olympic silver medalist Richard Torres Jr.
A big boxing event commands.
If you were to get it done, how do you get it done?
Is that what you said?
Yeah, if you were to get it done against Canelo, how does Crawford get it done? Like,
you know, the thing with Crawford, which is pretty.
Torres Jr. is impressed with Crawford's strength so much so that he recalled the moment when they wrestled. He's backing Bud to get the job done. Speaking to Sean Zittel, Torres said, "I'm Team Crawford, but I'm a ride or die Canelo fan." Then he added, "That said, I'm leaning more toward the US side. I'm excited for the fight." Reflecting on their friendly wrestling match, Torres smiled.
Cool is he can kind of transform seamlessly and do different things in the ring, which is pretty cool for him. Like for an example, he can box from the outside.
It came out a while ago. Crawford beat Richard Torres in wrestling, and yeah, that clip got some views, Torres said. "But just so everyone knows, I didn't realize we were wrestling seriously. We were in his kitchen. He just said, let's see what we got." And that's it for now. For the best updates, news, and highlights in the world of boxing, make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel and don't forget to turn on notifications so you never miss quality content like this.